Yo, morning guys, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is a psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project, self-improvement process to reach goals, ambition, stuff for myself. And welcome back to, another live stream of where, if you want an introduction and summary to what we do on this channel and break it down into domains of life, sub-series, analogies, and so on and so forth, as well as the conceptual framework, the live streaming schedule, as well as the content behind it. You can find, and copyright free music, you can find all that jazz in the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years, straight up to January 2021. And so it's all over there. Without further ado, let's just dive into the table of contents for today. Alright, so we roughly have a 14-minute stream as usual, and we're going to break it down into about 9 different segments. The first segment today is going to be, it was introduction. Second is the table of contents. After that, the third segment is going to be what you see is what you get. You have all this photography of food items here. We have some class 2 sour cream onion, some chips. We also have some stuff here that's basically depth food that I should not have eaten. It's like sardines and stuff. Doesn't look all too appetizing. So we'll cover some photography and some food and nutrition. After that, we'll also want to cover the thing on the left hand side right there is a bit of philosophy and social media assets. So this would be Instagram and Stoic philosophy, specifically from what looks like Seneca. Nothing is more important than a grateful heart. So we'll talk about that. And then after those 2 segments, we're going to skip into the 5th segment. So if I just remove the photos to the side there and the panels, we're going to be more active. This is the most active portion of the stream. The 5th segment, we're going to stand up as region D1 is region D2. And my brother has returned back from his place. Again, just to keep it private. But the point is I need to move these 2 mattresses over to his place. That's basically what he's going to use to sleep on. It's going to be a nice, large, king-size, double bed, whatever it is called. And of course, I have to find a way to remove all this kind of stuff. So we're going to get to that in the 5th segment. The 6th segment, of course, even in the 5th segment, there's some stuff here. Gotta get rid of some recyclables, health supplements, shit like that. Alright, and then the 6th segment, we're going to sit back down here. Okay, region A5, A2, something like that. And we're just going to talk about relationships and finance, and particularly just envisionings with particular people inside my life. So relationships is the main highlight there, which I can't really show you, right? So that's not a very physical stream. I'm just going to sit here and do some storytelling, a lot of storytelling. Last 2 segments, 7 and 8, really has to do with comments. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave it down here, and I'll try to respond to you at the very end of the live stream if I can. You don't have to be very serious. It can be if you're curious about what I'm doing, but also if you just have any funny memes to try to lighten the mood, that's fine too. I don't mind at all. And of course, there's also a segment, the last one I believe, before the take-home message. On the computer here, I'm just going to show a little bit of the databasing and go with an overview, kind of review of the day in terms of fitness and all the various domains of life, from martial arts to work to business and so on and so forth. And then we'll deliver take-home message. So quickly, 2 disclaimers. The first one is, of course, I'm going to try to be real, raw, and genuine, which means that, again, this is by analogy a time capsule of my life, in a sense. That's one analogy of the Ahn Rho Project. So I have to cover the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not going to stray away from non-PC topics, whether it involves emotional insecurities or baggage, whatever. Second thing, it is a high utility stream. It means that I'm supposed to actually benefit and get something out of these streams. And so this is kind of like a directory, actually, of all the different media portions of the stream. So of the Ahn Rho Project compiled together. So without further ado, let's just dive into it. Let's start with the photography. Sorry, like I said, right here we have maybe about 10 photographs today I want to showcase. I'll lower the music. Okay, so this is Pringles sour cream. This is some chips that basically I'm not supposed to eat, but I did. I didn't take a photograph of it yesterday, but I should have. It's a class 2 item because it comes from my guardians. Not supposed to eat it, but I did. And I felt almost like I was just being stupid, but I guess I had to get over it. So I went out and ate some, kind of like spite it out. And then we have some stuff here that's also not supposed to be for me to eat. We have these sardines and this Chinese winter melon kind of stuff. So again, not supposed to, but I just did. And hopefully I don't do this again. Yeah, you know what? Most likely I won't be doing this again. And then we have here next to it right on the right hand side is the class 2 food, but in the middle is the class 1 food, and the left hand side as well you see the supplements. The Oreos are added into the oatmeal. The bowl of oatmeal is like right there in the middle, smack dab. You can barely see it because of the contrast, but that's okay. And again, just that's it for breakfast. So very quickly, that's all we had for photographs. Now we want to move over to the next digital asset. So this is the fourth segment, like I said. So straight here from Stoic Reflections, nothing is more honorable than the grateful heart. And so one thing to practice every morning is, maybe 2 or 3 things that you really appreciate in your life. Things, places, people, events, whatever it is. Particularly just to, keep yourself moving throughout the day, weeks, months, and constantly striving to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve, whether it's for yourself or the people you care for. Trying to make yourself strong and disciplined and not be fazed by things outside of your control. So that's that. Again, just a main highlight of something that I used to do way back in the day when I was a kid, and I had to back then because, I won't touch on it again, but basically domestic issues. I'm not talking too much about that today. So we'll get up. All right, let's get up. In fact, I probably don't have to get up. There's not a whole lot for me to say because it hasn't changed since yesterday. I have these 2 mattresses here, like I said, the one on the bottom and the one on the top here. I want to move it over, pass it over to my brother, which means I have to clear all the food here, all the junk here. It's not junk, it's food that I haven't eaten that I usually take over to dinner for workplace. Same thing with here, the drinks here. We have some laundry stuff, the cutlery. I've cleared, like I said. We also have some cleaning materials here and some electronics, plus the bed. So all that the bed, like my bed. Like this is his bed, this is my bed. So gotta take all that stuff off, that's mine. I did clear some of the clothing yesterday's stream, as well as the toilet paper, as well as this kind of stuff here, the laundry, all that kind of jazz. But I obviously have to clear up this stuff too. I want to give him like a king size bed, and then same thing down here with the crate. So obviously my plan was, and I didn't detail enough of this yesterday because it was kind of makeshift. I hadn't planned out exactly what I was going to do, but I want to move region D4 over here. So this is region D4, right? So this is D1, D2 against the wall. D3 is kind of this empty walking space. D4. So D4 has these a rack with with 2 bags of clothing, donation bags. I can't donate it right now to Salvation Army or United Way, and that's just because of COVID. Like no one's gonna accept clothes right now. And then on top of that are some equipment bags as well as my own winter clothing. So I have to wash the winter clothing, and then it's just gonna be the donation bag. So I'm gonna move that over to the side once I get rid of the 2 mattresses and give it to my brother who is in the other tenant's room. Like I said, the lady from Hong Kong, she's gone back now. But basically, once this area is clear here in region D2, I'm going to move this stuff in D4 over to D2 and then pin it against the wall and put all this stuff here, like the drinks, maybe in the bed frame, and then all this food on top. I can also shift some of this stuff here over there. Some of this stuff will actually have to be put somewhere else, probably in the office region A7 and A8. So we're gonna have to split this up onto the table desk as well as over onto the donation clothing, kind of just a temporary placeholder, to hold the stuff while the mattresses are given away, as well as this crate here in D1. So D1's not going to exist anymore, I don't think, at least for a good while, and that's fine. Gives you more space, because the crate is also my brother's stuff. So that's that. So in terms of organization and logistics, that's that. Let's move over to A7. A7. We have a few bottles here of Usana Health Sciences that, again, the supplements I take, 2 of them are emptied out. There's still 2 more that are going to run out soon. So these are just recyclables. I move over here, toss it to the side, inside one of these bags. When I take it over to work, I'm going to recycle them. Same thing over here. We have some paper towels and stuff like that. Also needs to be thrown away. And I'll cover very briefly, but there was also on this table here, there's like a pair of nail clippers that I used. So it was a bit of a chore that I did yesterday, and just clip my nails. So all right, that's it. So in terms of logistics, I think that's everything. There is some stuff I should mention. I have a bagel inside this box of pretzel crackers, and I tend to reuse packaging, so that's going to be my dinner. Probably add some supplements, add something else, maybe a box of those like crackers there, and that'll be my lunch, not lunch, my dinner for today. All right, so let's sit back down here. Okay, we are about 9 minutes in. So we're gonna move on to the relationships or abstract segment when we talk about things that I can't really show you visually. So let's just face towards this, and maybe you can take a look at, okay, look at the screen. This is Inception here. So when it comes to relationships, this morning I woke up, and so yesterday's day was kind of, I didn't really spend too much time with it was kind of just a flatline day. I showed up earlier, so that's great, but in terms of any improvements overall between me and my colleagues, not too much. The point is this: this morning I woke up, I had 3 envisionings, one with PB and JM, so those are the owners of the business of the company that I work for, so that's employment relations. And then I also had an envisioning with my cousins on my maternal side, because and that's probably with JF and BL, and how I couldn't understand. I was very frustrated and disappointed with myself. I couldn't find out why I felt so uncomfortable again with BL in the room. And I recognize now that it really has a lot to do with trust. I had a lot of trust issues, and I didn't realize what it was until very recently, maybe just the past couple months. Because I learned that from the workplace specifically, right? That's exactly what my issues are. I have a lot of trust issues. And then, so cousins, and then colleagues, and then the last one also my guardians, so my paternal predecessors, and then all that kind of stuff. We covered there's that last envisioning. And envisionings, I just mean, thoughts. You kind of play out the scenario in your head about what you might want to say, and then you might want to practice that out. So I scripted that out. I had an audio recording this morning. And particularly that last one has to do with just the topic, and that was with I believe LE, and it was covering one last main contender for the past 3 decades of garbage. But it's been a steady improvement, and this is about the last 2 or 3 things to do with my maternal side of my predecessors, my guardians. Is just about emotions and negativity, and how they tend to block away, and they believe anytime you have something negative to say is something that's not worth saying, which is quite honestly stupid, because if you don't say it, that's almost cowardice. You're just putting it into the corner, putting a black box and pretending like it's not there, running away from your problem, sticking your head in the sand. And I always felt that it was a very cowardly way of addressing problems. That's not addressing it, that's running away from them. And because you do that and you bottle it up into your subconscious, they're still there, and they're affecting your judgment. So you have poor judgment because of your negative emotions that you're not addressing. And so you're supposed to address them, and you're supposed to vocalize them, and deal with the people who you have to deal with. Sit down, listen. We need to have a serious conversation and work through these things, and then all right, done, move on. And now they won't affect your decisions in very critical aspects of life, such as finance or employment or business or your family or your health. And that's something that's been a recurring theme between them. And that's something that I had to envision out today and speak into a recording. So this morning I actually captured all 3 of those thoughts I had for all 3 groups of people. Okay, good. Last 2 segments. I don't see any comments on the left-hand side here, so just skip all that. If you have questions, you can still add on to it. It's not too late. And in terms of the last thing here, so the digital segment in terms of databasing, so 35 Excel, whatever. In terms of fitness, yesterday I didn't actually do anything, so exercise. So I wasn't feeling into it. I was actually listening more to like a business, like audio recording podcast or interview. That was an interview from Simon Sinek, and he's talking about business, or Sinek. I'm sorry, if I'm mispronouncing your name, but basically that's what it was, and about infinite companies. And I'm blessed, very fortunate to be part of an infinite company, or at least leaders who strive to make it as close to that as possible. I've resigned already, but still, I'm grateful for that. Now, with that being said, new inventory, just the food I already captured. Fitness, that finance, there's not a whole lot there either. Overall, I'm still trying to recover, and it's kind of like plateauing, but it's going up again because I'm getting to work earlier and earlier. Today, I'm actually almost on time for stream. Maybe, but no, not really. It's like 2 hours behind still. But, that's a huge improvement compared to like 5 hours behind. Jeez. So that being said, I have like 10 seconds left. Take home message. You can just check out the previous live streams. I don't have enough time. So this is Ahn signing out. Hope to see a better version of you as myself. Ciao.